Hey leaders, today I want to talk to you about the number one key for you becoming a more effective leader. Whether you're leading an organization, whether you're leading a team, or whether you're just trying to lead your family more effectively, the number one key that I believe will help you become a more effective leader is this. You need to learn how to lead yourself. Okay, we're going to get into the number one key for becoming a more effective leader. But before we do, I just wanted to remind you, we record these videos every week. So make sure you subscribe or follow on whatever channel you are on so that you don't miss any episodes. What do I mean by this? Leading yourself means this. You need to understand what makes you tick as a leader. What are the pressures on you? What are the ways in which that you react as a leader? What are the ways that you respond to situations as a leader? And how does that affect the people that you lead? If you don't have self-awareness, if you don't understand your positives, your negatives, your weaknesses, your strengths, and manage them effectively, you will never be able to manage those in your team. It is really imperative that you become a leader that leads themselves well. And I want to just look at 3 areas that you can give attention to become a more self-aware leader. And the first one is this. You need to learn how to manage your triggers. What do I mean by triggers? Every one of us has things that sets us off, that make us frustrated, that make us angry. What are the things that frustrate you? Maybe it's a person in your workplace. Maybe it's a way that people do things in your workplace. Maybe it's a way that a particular team member interacts with you. Maybe it's a personality type. Whatever it is, you all have triggers that affect your ability to lead at your full potential. But if you don't know what those triggers are, if you don't know what sets you off, what will happen is other people will start pushing your buttons. This is especially true if you're trying to lead difficult people. Often difficult people know how to push your buttons. They already know your weaknesses, they already know what sets you off, and they use that to their advantage to control you. The last thing you want is for anybody else to be controlling you in a negative sense. And the only way to avoid that is if you learn to control yourself in the areas that you know you struggle with. So, one of the things that I understand about myself, that if I haven't slept well and I'm tired, I'm grumpy. Now, if I notice that I'm grumpy, I also know that I will start to become short with my children. I'll start to become reactive with people that annoy me. And that's not a good thing. That's not going to help me lead effectively. And so one of the things that I have to do is I have to have a mechanism if I feel myself getting upset or if I feel myself getting frustrated just because I'm tired. Well, I might need to go and get a coffee. I might need to have some quiet time. So I've got a little chair in my room at home. If I'm really tired and I feel like the kids are starting to irritate me, rather than taking it out on my kids, I'll retreat to my bedroom, sit in my chair, just relax, have a coffee, get my head in the right space before I start interacting with them again. In your workplace, you need to have some kind of routine where you can eject from a situation if you feel that you're being triggered. If you're feeling emotionally reactive to a person or a situation, you need to have some kind of routine. Maybe you take a walk around the block. Maybe you go and take some lunch. Maybe you just clear some time in your calendar where you can just be alone and you can just calm yourself down and figure out what's going on. But whatever it is, don't let those triggers be controlled by somebody else. Manage your triggers well. If you manage your triggers well, you'll be a more effective leader because you're leading yourself. The second thing you need to understand is your emotions. And this is kind of connected to your triggers. You need to be able to control your emotions. There is nothing worse than an emotionally reactive leader. There is nothing worse than a leader who hasn't got an ability to manage themselves emotionally. Now, if you are somebody who recognizes that you have a tendency to emotionally react, whether you have a tendency to get angry or fly off the handle, or you have a tendency to maybe take things personally or get upset or get offended by things, that is going to harm your credibility as a leader. And you've got to make sure. There's an expression in church circles. I do a bit of leadership in church circles, and one of the expressions is don't bleed on your sheep. What that means is don't let all your emotions out on the people that you lead. You've got to be careful that if you're emotionally reactive, that you don't allow those emotions to get the better of you in the situations where you're working with your team and they're looking up to you, they're looking to you for cues, they're looking to you for instruction, they're looking to you for direction. And if all they're getting is emotional outbursts or emotional reactions, it's going to cause them to lose confidence in your leadership ability, and you're going to find it harder and harder to influence them effectively because they will see you as an emotionally volatile person. If you become an emotionally volatile person, everybody walks on eggshells around you. Nobody tells you the truth. Nobody actually speaks to you straight, and you don't need that as a leader. You need your team talking to you. You need your team talking to you straight, telling you the truth, knowing what's going on, and that is going to be determined by how you manage your emotions. So learn to get your emotions under control if you're an emotionally reactive leader. The last thing is this, and this really feeds into both of the other ones, is well-being. It's your job to look after yourself. If you don't look after yourself, that is going to leak into your physical well-being, how tired you feel, how much energy you have, how that will then leak into how you handle stress. How you handle stress will leak into how you manage your emotions. How you're managing your emotions will leak into what triggers you or what sets you off. So if you're not caring for yourself, getting enough sleep, eating properly, exercising, doing all the things that you need to do to keep yourself in check, physically, emotionally, mentally, then what it's going to do is have this knock-on effect where it's just going to cause you to become an unregulated, unstable leader. When you're an unregulated, unstable leader, people don't trust you, people don't want to follow you, and you will find it harder and harder to get things done. So take the time to care for your well-being. Take the time to assess the way that you work now. If you have long work days and you know that it's affecting your sleep or it's affecting your rest, you might need to modify the length of time you spend in the office. Find time for rest. Rest is important. If you know that your eating habits are out of whack and that eating causes you to not think clearly, maybe feel lethargic and tired in the afternoons, well, you need to talk to somebody who's an expert in nutrition and help them to figure out a diet that's going to help you think and perform at your best. And if you don't move, I mean, especially if you're in a sedentary type job, if you're not moving, then it's going to affect your emotional stability, and it's also going to affect your physical energy and well-being. So take care of your well-being. It's your responsibility to lead yourself. When you take care of your well-being, you manage your emotions, you know your triggers, and you have them under control. You'll be a more effective leader because you are learning to lead yourself. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you got a ton of value out of that episode. Don't forget to let us know what you thought in the comments, and if you have a topic you'd like us to cover next time, we'd love to hear from you. If you know anyone that would benefit from the content that we produce, please like and share this channel, and we look forward to having you next time on the Tarun Stevenson Leadership Channel.